Good morning, everybody. Well, afternoon now. It's about 2 o'clock, 2 something. We are up in Phelps. We're at this new construction, as you can see. And right now I am prepping to do some acid staining. Right now I'm just laying down the tape on all the wood, and then I'm going to do a chemical clean of all this concrete. And then tomorrow morning, right away, probably about 7 o'clock, whatever it gets light out. As you can see, there are no lights in here, so whenever it gets light out, we can start laying the stain down. But let me flip you around and show you what we're doing. I got the blue tape down. That'll protect the wood for the most part, since we're just going to be doing little circles here. It's not going to kick up very much of the stain. But I got to take my drill. Where is it here? I got a Brillo pad on my drill. And some of these marks, like right here and right here, I got to scuff out before I do the cleaning. But yeah, here's what we got so far. I'm almost done. I'm right around this corner here. Here's our test piece that we did a while ago. It doesn't have a sealer on it because my sealer separated, so it's no good. But this is unsealed. That's what it's gonna look like around the whole house. But I'm gonna put my tape down around in here, and then get that little corner and put our stop strip right in the threshold here. It's going to use right around 7 gallons of stain, 5 gallons of sealer, and 2 gallons of prep. And what the prep does, I got it in the back of the Bravada, that acid etches the floor. You spray it on, and it'll also clean all this dust and whatnot off. I got my mop bucket over there, as you can see. But we're going to do that today. And like I said, tomorrow morning, we're going to start staining. I'm going to let it sit for 2.5 hours. And then I'm going to use ammonia and neutralize the acid. And then Wednesday morning, we're going to do our first coat of sealer. It's a water-based sealer, satin. It's not a matte or a high gloss. It's right in between. It's a mid gloss, so it gives it kind of that wet look. Oh man, it's been a long day. It was about almost a 3-hour drive up here, but that's some of my supplies that I got. The rest are in the Bravada. But yeah, this should be an awesome project. It's 1,408 square feet. And these customers actually had the price locked in last year's price, so they're actually 75 cents a square foot cheaper than what my current price is. So it saved them about $1,000 by booking last year. This would have been done already, but they had to get all this hooked up for the heat in the floors and all that. But it's coming along nicely. I'm going to go unload my stuff, and then once I'm done cleaning the floors and stuff, or before I clean the floors, or while I'm cleaning the floors, somewhere around there, I'll bring you guys along for a little bit more of a video. So stay tuned, and we'll get her done. Right here, what I'm doing is doing an acid etch. So the chemical interacts with the concrete, opens up the pores, and it makes it ready for the acid stain, ready to receive it. it's not horrible. So let me take you to the next step. Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday. I just finished doing the staining. I was going to do some video of it while doing it, but this has in-floor heat and it's dried up really super quick. It activates super quick, so I did not have time to camera it. I was, as you can tell, I'm sweating like a pig. Yeah, so I had to move. I had to keep moving and filling my jug and, yeah, spraying. So there wasn't time to really take any video of it. I'll show you a little bit of the area here when I flip you around while it's drying. And then once it's fully dry, I'll take you around and show you what I got going on. All right, so here's what it is while it's currently drying now. I gotta let it sit for 2.5 hours. You can see some parts are already dry. I did a different technique here. I'd start right here, and then I'd come up, and then come back, and then each of these drying spots that dry a little differently is going to be a different pattern in the floor. So it's going to look really awesome. You can tell the different colors. It's the same color, but it was applied at a different time. Lighter, darker, lighter, darker. You can see how it's drying. That's all going to be different patterns. Every single one of them. Let me see if I can stretch you. There, I can stretch you a little bit. But like I said, 2.5 hours. And we should be able to walk on it. It should be completely dry. And at that point, I'll put a little water or something on it. Just spritz a little water just to show you the actual color. Once you spray the water on after you neutralize it, that's pretty much the color that you're going to get. So stay tuned. I'm going to set my timer 2.5 hours. All right, here is what it is. I did a few moppings. I think I did, in this part of the video, I think I got number 3 for mopping. As you can see, some of this, I'll wait until I get to a corner here. You see some of that orange stuff right there? That is still residue. I knocked that out with my 4th mopping. But anything that's orange like that needs to come up. Some of it, like you can see right there, that's residue. But you can see some of this stuff over here, that's not residue. That's actually the acid stain into the concrete. But you can see it's got a pretty cool design so far. Yeah, it was a really long process of just mopping and taking the bucket up. You can see this is my 3rd mop right here too. It's a little bit darker in this little corner here. I don't know why, but it's probably an issue with the concrete. But that was the only corner that was actually a little bit darker. You see all these little mop marks? Those all have to come up in order for it to be perfectly clean and ready for the sealer. Alright guys, it is Wednesday. We are sealing this concrete today. Let me take you a little tour around. I got all the residue off yesterday and everything's clean, and it lightened up a little bit overnight, so I'll show you how cool this stuff looks. Here's how it looks now. This is without the sealer on it. You can see all the cool little patterns that it's got in it. Right here, I'm not sure, maybe when they finish concrete or something, but that right there, you can see it's a pretty decent sized dark spot, and everything was applied at the same rate for the same time. So I think it might just be something with the concrete over there. But yeah, everything lined up real nice. Like I said, this is before sealing. I'm working on sealing on the other side over here. As you can see, that's curing right now. I'm probably going to go over and roller it. But it should self-level itself. But in those spots over there, I might take a roller and, you know, just roll it out. Just so there's not a white haze. Because there is a potential for a white haze if you have too much pooled up in one area. So we'll, once we're done with the rest of this area here, we'll come back, and right when it's almost dry, we'll take a roller to it, spread it out a little bit, just so it doesn't harden and have that white haze. You can see right there, all these couple spots, it's actually starting to dry pretty decently. So I'm going to get back to sealing it, and I'll check back with you guys in a little bit. Alright guys, we are done applying the sealer. It's currently drying right now. There's going to be some little milky spots yet where it's still drying, but here, I'll flip you around and take you a tour. I'm not going to walk on it yet, just because it's still tacky. But there's enough openings. You know, there's a sliding door over there, and where I'm standing right now, I can show you, you know, this way and that way and whatnot. But I'll flip you around and show you what I got going. So this is how it turned out. You can see a definite difference here between standard concrete and stuff that I just did. Like I said, that milky stuff over there, that's still drying sealer. But yeah, here's how it turned out. It turned out awesome. This spot's still drying pretty decently yet. And let me take you around to the other door over there. And here's this side. As you can see, it's still drying. This stuff's really still drying. It's probably going to take another hour or so. And then once, probably about another 3 hours, I'll be able to walk on it and start removing all that tape. At least most of it. I tried removing some, where was it? Over here. And it started to rip on the insulation piece, so I'm going to have to be super, super careful when doing that. But yeah, this is the final result. I did this in Mission Brown, and there's a little bit of caramel. Not a whole lot of caramel. I didn't add that much to it, but you can definitely see the marbleization, different patterns. And that's what acid stain does to concrete. The newer the concrete, you know, it has to be at least 28 days old to do this type of staining. But usually if it's less than 5 years old, it'll come out looking like this. It'll be awesome. I put this down, the stain down, for 2.5 hours. They say they do it for 4 to 24 hours, but I have found that if you go 4 hours, which they recommend, it's super dark. Like, it's very, very dark. So I couldn't even imagine letting it sit in for 24 hours. But I'm assuming that's probably if you dilute it, because the acid stain that I use, you can dilute it, and they don't recommend it, but you can. And I'm assuming that's the 24-hour one where they just let it sit overnight. But yeah, this turned out really cool. I'm really happy with the results. The customers are real happy with it. Well, yesterday they only seen it yesterday when I wet it down after I took all this residue off. There's a when you neutralize the acid from the concrete, the stain, it leaves a really thick residue on top. And I had to mop this floor 4 times, and I went through like 6 or 7 mop buckets full of water and 2 mop heads just to get all that residue off. But if you don't get that residue off, it's not good. And you'll see it right through the sealer, and sometimes the sealer won't even stick to it. So that's why you have to get it spick and span. Like on my 4th pass, I was barely having any. It was pretty much clear water coming out after I was mopping it. So that's how you know that the residue is all off, is when your mop head is bringing out almost clear water, like 90% clear water. But I think this turned out really cool. This is actually the first time using this color. I'm used to using like caramel and walnut and what was the other one? Teal. Teal, if you put teal acid stain down, it's a wild design. It looks really cool, but it's kind of a personal preference. It's not a lot of people want full teal floors. But yeah, this is what you can expect when you have me do some acid staining, especially on newer stuff like this. You can do it on old stuff. I've done 20-year-old concrete, and in a few weeks I'm going to be doing concrete that was poured in 1994. So that's going to be interesting, because I have to first chemically clean it, because it's got so much algae and mildew on it. But we'll see how that turns out. I mean, it's not horribly bad. It's not like pitted that much, or it doesn't have spaldings in it. But we'll see how it turns out. I'm going to actually use this color here, this Mission Brown, and I'm actually going to mix it a little bit with caramel. Those are my new two favorite things, is Mission Brown and caramel. Just seeing how this turned out with them mixed together, it looks awesome. I used about a half a gallon of caramel throughout this whole area, but you don't want to use too much caramel in there. Like, I did a test spot over there, like you've seen in one of my other videos. I did a test spot right there, and they just thought it was a little bit too like rust colored, too orangey, because I used quite a bit. I used a quarter caramel and 3/4 of Mission Brown, and it just turned out too orangey for them. So I cut it way back and only used a half gallon through this whole area. I'm just highlighting certain spots. But yeah, I'm really happy with this. And once the homeowner comes back, he's doing a run and getting some supplies and stuff for his business and whatnot. But once they get back, they can see this full effect. Since I only showed it with them yesterday, after the residue is off, and if you put water on the floor after the residue is off, it gives it. You can kind of see what the color is going to be. It's not the full effect like this. Once you put sealer on it, really makes it pop. And we let it sit overnight. So when the acid stain cures overnight like that, it lightens up a little bit, because it was a little darker yesterday, even with the water on it. But now it's cured up, and now the sealer's on. So yeah, this is effect. I'm just waiting for the sealer to dry. This place has in-floor heat. I have it set at, I think 63 or 65. So hopefully, it'll cure a little bit quicker. But usually takes about 6-7 hours for the sealer to disappear like this. It goes on like this, and then it'll disappear like that. But with in-floor heat, it dramatically reduces that time. Like, I've been here about 3 hours. It's been about 3 hours since I put the sealer down, and so I'd expect it maybe about 4.5 hours, so another hour and a half. All of this should be dried, and some parts over there, it shouldn't be tacky. I should be able to walk on it, but definitely I'll probably give it another 3 hours. So probably around 3 o'clock today, I'll walk on this and start taking the tape off, and then giving the homeowner instructions for maintenance and the warranty that I provide and all that stuff. Because I do provide warranties on my work. It's a 2-year warranty. If any of this clear coat starts popping up, or if it starts chipping in any which way, the homeowner just pays for the product and my labor is free. But if you'd like something done like this to your place, I generally like doing a new construction like this. As you can see, I only have the tape down. If you had, full of furniture and stuff, you'd have to remove all the furniture, and I'd have to come in with a lot of plastics and probably go right up to here with plastic on the walls and then on the floors, just as an added protective. And that takes a little bit extra time. But if you have an area like this, new home construction, and you'd like this done, you're probably going to run right around $6,000. And that's materials, labor, and if you're farther away, it includes travel charge, hotels, and whatnot. Like I was saying, this customer got me booked when it was last year's rate. I was at $225 a square foot plus material. This year I am $3 a square foot plus material. So this customer actually saved, like I said before, about $1,000. But yeah, if you'd like something done like this, you'd be looking at right around $6,000 for something this size. If it's bigger, it's going to be more, but because this one was right around $4,500, $4,800. But like I showed you over there, it's a big night and day difference, and it's actually really cool. The only thing you're going to want to do if you do get this done through me is I'm going to recommend, once all these are the sealers all cured, and before you put furniture in, if you're doing a new construction, is to get like a moppable wax. They make a wax that you can put down in a mop that's made specifically for sealed concrete. There's a few of them that aren't for sealed concrete, and you don't want to use that on this stuff because it will not look very good. But there's a product that you just mop on, and it adds pretty much a sacrificial layer on top of this sealer. So if you do that once a year, you probably have this sealer will probably last you a good 10 years before it's degraded to the point where you're going to have me or someone else come in and reseal the concrete, which it isn't bad. I mean, that's not very bad at all. I mean, like, I used 4 gallons or 3.5, something like that, to do this size of an area. So that's about it. And like I said, if you'd like something like this done to your house, or even if you want it done to a driveway, I can do it on driveways. Anything that has concrete that is not sealed. If you have sealed concrete, you have to wait until the sealer is all dead on it and it's ready for a new seal. I cannot do acid staining on sealed concrete. Well, let me rephrase that. I can, but the price is going to go way, way up, because in order to do the acid staining, I'm going to have to get a concrete grinder out and grind all the concrete down, and then I can start the acid staining. So, that's a whole nother work in itself, and that's, for doing that, I charge $60 an hour, so it's not going to be the cheapest. So if you wanted, something like this size done, and it was sealed, just figure in adding, instead of being $6,000, figure in adding another $1,500, $1,800 to that, just for grinding the concrete down to get it prepped enough to have it acid stained. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Find our Facebook page. It's the same name as this channel. You'll see all of our work, and you can contact me through there. I cover 90% of Wisconsin, and I am going to be going into Michigan, the upper part of Michigan this year, and parts of Minnesota for work. So if you're in those areas, I got you covered. So book with me, look at my stuff, and we'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.